What's up, guys, and welcome back to Cop Entertainment. So something very interesting happened, in Swane, and it is that Nasiphi Moya is working very hard, and doing everything that she can, to keep the city clean and arresting illegal immigrants, sending them to the police. But what she discovered is something really surprising, and it is that the very same illegal immigrants that she is arresting, she is coming across them again in the streets, and it's coming as a surprise, because you arrest the illegal immigrant today, you send them to the police, and tomorrow you're back on the ground working to arrest more illegal immigrants, but you find that same guy that you arrested yesterday is now back on the streets. You arrest them, you send them to the police. Tomorrow on the third day, you see that same guy again. So this is what she is going through, and she spoke about it and she was not happy. Just watch,
The third time we arrest this guy in a space of 3 weeks. We met him at Pretoria West.
I will track it.
Pretoria West. There were about 7 of them. They were standing. That's why I remember. And he's got an eye network. That was the Monday. On Thursday we went back. We found the same guy, same property when we were evicting them. This is the third time I get this guy into a car.
Who released you?
Who released him? This is what I want to know. Why is this guy keeping and also who else gets released? Tinasia Selenza. Then they put them in.
Come down here.
Means Mayor must follow the instruction, must go to the police station and make sure.
Yes, please. Because
You can reach them.
no.
So this is what Nasiphi Moya is going through, working very hard. But it turns out, that the efforts, they are sort of like being sabotaged by some people, who are continuously releasing these guys, for reasons nobody even knows why or what is even happening, behind the scenes. So one thing that somebody can more of like deduct out of all of this, is that these raids in themselves of raiding illegal foreigners, it might be for sure, just putting it out there that, oh, we've arrested so much illegal foreigners, but then again, they are not being deported. They are being released back into the streets after just some few days. So it's something that someone can take away from all of this. And at the same time, there are also like allegations that maybe the police officers are being bribed to release these guys. That's why, Nasiphi Moya was going as far as to say, who is releasing these illegal foreigners? I want to know that person. So it can seem as if what first needs to be worked on are those police officers first, before you go out there and arresting illegal foreigners. But maybe we're getting far ahead of ourselves, and maybe this is like one isolated scenario whereby just maybe this guy being released and maybe a small group of others. The most important question to ask, overally and in a broader context is that what really happens to illegal foreigners that are arrested in South Africa? Are they deported, sent to jail, or released through a bribe or whatever? Or maybe even just be released without even a bribe at all? So if you have to do your research, you find the result, it's saying that deportation is what is mostly done, to those who are found without the proper documents. They are arrested by the Department of Home Affairs or the police, held at a detention facility, then deported to their country of origin. So, but prison, they're definitely not imprisoned unless if they commit crimes. So they're definitely not sent to prison. But some others, they are released, if Home Affairs fails to process deportation within 30 days, courts can order the release. So this is like in some cases. So on paper, this is what happens. But on the ground now, what really happens? So the unfortunate thing is that the system is sort of overwhelmed, and what actually happens is often very different. Most illegal foreigners, they are like crowded, at police cells. There is lack of transport or funds to deport them. The funds are just not there. They're missing identity documents, and mostly there is no cooperation, from other guys like in Zimbabwe over there, like their embassies. They're also overwhelmed, with the number of Zimbabweans in South Africa. So it usually becomes very, very hard on the side of South Africa to be deporting each and every one of the illegal foreigners that is arrested. The issue of bribery and corruption is often reported and talked about. It's said that it's widespread. It's what some people say, that foreigners pay bribes to avoid deportation or detention. So it's some of these issues that happen. And I've also seen some videos, whereby some of these illegal foreigners were paying some money to some officers for them to be released. I saw one of those videos, and in one of those videos, there were something like 5 of these guys being arrested, and 2 of them, they handed something to the police officers, which people believe was money. Then the other 3 who didn't have money, they were just put in the vehicle, and they went with the officers. So on the ground, that is what usually happens. So that's the unfortunate part, that this entire scenario, it's something that may be beyond someone like a mayor. It's something that maybe needs cooperation, starting from the very, very, very top. I think you bring in the president, you bring in the Home Affairs Ministry, you bring in the National Police Commissioner, you bring in the SANDF, all those guys, exactly, and you get cooperation from those guys, and also from the neighboring countries. You also need cooperation from those guys to be able to make this work, because just the mayor, just by himself, running around and arresting all these guys, there'll be massive forces, that may be just beyond your control, that she will be fighting with, like natural forces, of lack of funds. So she may be going round and round in circles, and this is exactly what is happening. Arresting the same person the 3rd time, it just shows, that your efforts, they are like going in vain. And it's like there are some officers, who will be like laughing at you. You bring that guy, you arrest that guy with so much confidence that, oh, I've arrested this guy, you leave him. And those guys, they may just remain behind and be laughing at you and be like, I will be releasing this guy in 24 hours. What do we do? Because they're overcrowded in the cells anyway. So this is what is happening. So I'll catch you guys on the next one.